My name's David Wall. It's February 19, 2022, and I'm making the 3-day drive to the capital city of Canada to support the peaceful protests there. I'd like to explain to you why I'm doing this. It's because of my grandmother mainly. My grandmother came from a family of pacifist, peace-loving Mennonite people, farmers near the Black Sea area of, at the time, the USSR, Russia. She fled the Soviet oppression, violence, and starvation of her people. She traveled by ox cart and foot for hundreds of miles to Germany. In Germany, she encountered Nazi oppression. So she became a 2-time refugee. She was separated from her family. She did not know where they were for several years. She was separated from them, and in her early 20s, she went by herself to Canada to seek freedom. Today, the same sort of oppression that she experienced under communism and under the Nazis is happening in the country that she sought freedom in. Last week I traveled to Alberta, Canada. I camped on the side of a highway with hundreds of other people to protest what the Canadian government is doing to its people. My experience there was nothing but amazing. I experienced so much from the other protesters. I experienced so much love, connection, harmony, and honor. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. In the meantime, the police were trying to incite violence. They were committing sabotage to private property. And thankfully, none of us gave in to those sorts of threats. But what I noticed there is that a number of those people at that protest had similar stories to mine. They were either first or even second generation Canadians who had come from places like Poland, the Czech Republic, Russia, and they knew what authoritarianism and oppression looked like. So that protest disbanded due to threats of violence, and I came back home. This week, the Prime Minister of Canada invoked basically martial law on the country, which means that he can do whatever he wants. Currently, as I speak, there are protesters in Ottawa, grandmothers, everyday people, even reporters, news reporters, who are being injured and hurt by police forces. This can't go on. It's not going to. I know that good and love will win out in the end. But in the meantime, it's going to get dark. And I felt that darkness. I think there's still something in my blood that knows what oppression is. I have never been involved in politics. I have had no interest. I don't support any particular political party. But this is different. This is basic human rights. And I care enough about this to take probably weeks of time and thousands of dollars spent to go and stand for what is right. I encourage you to do the same, however you can. Don't believe what the mainstream media shows you. So until recently, I was skeptical about the idea that the mainstream media was always biased, but I have seen it for myself. Participating in these protests, I have seen for myself how the media twists things to look like something different than they actually are. Or they just exclude showing what is happening. So I encourage you, stay away from that. Look at social media of people who are on the ground. Look at live streams. And Rebel News is a pretty reputable source of actual truth at this time. So look up Rebel News. I've got to get back on the road again, but I just wanted to share this message. I know that good will prevail in the end. We have already won. What we're experiencing here is just the desperate actions of people who know that they've lost, that they're on the wrong side. All we have to do is stand our ground, be peaceful, be honorable, and stand for what's right. Thank you for listening.